All right, time to talk about a fragrance that is going to be perhaps one of the best releases you will get your nose on in 2024. On the newest 2024 release of Prada Luna Rossa Sport. I'm going to talk about all the 3 iterations of this fragrance. I'm going to tell you guys what I think about them and if this one is, in fact, one of the best 2024 releases. So stay tuned. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another video. 𝗥𝗿𝗄𝗏 here. Today we're going to talk about the newest from Prada, the Prada Luna Rossa Sport 2024 iteration of this fragrance. This is the 3rd iteration. It's an eau de toilette concentration. Comes in this silver and red box. You have the batch code here in the bottom of the box, which should also match the bottom of your bottle itself, which is fully red, beautiful color, only available exclusively at the Prada website itself. However, this is the 100 ml, which is, by the time you're watching this video, currently sold out. You can't find this anywhere. The 50 ml is available right now at the website for $95. This one retails for $120. This is an eau de toilette concentration. The sprays are actually really nice. There's no mechanism or anything. There's actually no cap here. The cap is within the bottle itself. We're going to talk about the smell. Presentation looks pretty good. I mean, Prada does a good job. Sprayers are one of the best in the game, but the smell itself is what we're focused on in this video. And by the way, the other 2 sport flankers of this Prada Luna Rossa collection are very hard to find, especially the 2016 Eau Sport concentration of this fragrance, which is the all white bottle. I'm going to pop it on the screen here. That one fetches a pretty penny if you do happen to be able to find it. And then the sport version from 2015 is actually readily available at most discounters, but fetches actually a pretty penny. As it becomes more scarce and harder to find, most likely the price is going to climb. So if you do like that fragrance, pick it up before it's gone. This is the newest one. Of course, you don't have to pick it up retail if you don't want to. You can wait also for it to populate into discounters and then pick it up at a better price. And of course, you already know you can try it before you buy it. Check out perfume.com. They have this in stock right now. You can actually try it if you'd like to with my code MAX12, everything listed below for your reference and, of course, convenience. So let's get into the scent, guys. It opens up quite nice, very different from the quote-unquote Prada Luna Rossa line. This is going to be rather a very bold, very full scent. When you look at the fragrance, it says sport, you're expecting something very ethereal, very fresh, very bright. There is a little bit of brightness up top with some bergamots, but you do get a very spicy ginger with some woody components, making it very creamy. There's a gorgeous note of sandalwood here, tonka beans, vanilla. It's rather a very full and bold fragrance when you're thinking of sport. It's going to give you a very bold and full profile that I would not associate with a sport flanker, as it were. Speaking about the 2 predecessor fragrances that came before this one, the 2015 is going to be the one that's going to be a little closer to this one due to the tonka and vanilla in the base, which this one also has. The 2016 is extremely brighter and fresher. You're going to have a lot of citrus components up top, which you do not have with the 2015 original or this one here. Especially this one here, is going to remain more woody aromatic, woody spicy. The 2015 original is definitely a woody aromatic fragrance with some spicy tendencies, and the 2016 Eau Sport is definitely the fresher of the bunch. This one also has a trifecta of lavender, vanilla, and tonka, giving this very fuller, deeper, bolder, creamier, and even powdery as you get to the to the heart of the fragrance. As you get into the heart of the fragrance, this becomes rather powdery. You do have some resemblances with a couple fragrances that I'm going to talk about, later in this video. But it is, to me, not a quote-unquote sport flanker. This could have been a brand new release from Prada, or even in the Prada L'Homme collection. Even though Prada is kind of moving away from that soapy, clean, and crisp vibe that they otherwise had with their previous releases, this one here definitely definitely fuller, bolder, and woodier, spicier. Nothing like what you come to expect from the Prada release of fragrances as a whole. On the actual Prada website, this is classified as an amber fougere, or an oriental fougere as they call it on the website itself, although oriental is not something that's really used these days. They changed it to amber. Needless to say, it's classified as a spicy fougere. I think this is more in line of a neo fougere, but you can call it amber fougere or whatever you like. But it is rather a woody, spicy, aromatic type scent. You do have the ginger note that's listed on the website, along with the lavender and the hay note, which we're going to focus on the heart into the dry down right now. That hay note really pops as you get into the 10-15 mark of the fragrance development. It becomes almost like this tobacco-like vibe, which is really intricate and interesting. In fact, I talked about the Prada Luna Rossa Ocean Lip Parfum, which is, to this day, as we're getting into new releases of Prada Luna Rossa collection, my favorite. I really dug that fragrance. It really has a leathery and tobacco, dry down that's very similar to Pure Havane from Mugler. I talked about that fragrance. We actually did a first impression. I don't think I did a full review on that one. This one here definitely deserved a full review because that hay note gave me a blonde tobacco vibe from the heart into the dry down, which is very uncanny, especially when you think about the Prada Luna Rossa collection. This is like a first time they've ever done this, and I could definitely see the Prada Luna Rossa Sport having different flankers. Prada Luna Rossa Sport Intense, Extreme, who knows, Elixir. I definitely can see, or the Parfum version. This is the Sport Eau de Toilette. So I could definitely see them having offshoot flankers or a different line within the line. We all know these designer brands are known for this. So I think this is definitely something that's going to be, happening with this particular fragrance. Needless to say, the heart is incredible. I love the hay note, giving me like this tobacco kind of a vibe, along with the lavender, the tonka, the vanilla will definitely come through at this point, making this sweeter, definitely heavier, and definitely spicier, creamy, and also powdery. 25-30 minutes into wearing this fragrance, it becomes rather linear. What you get at this point is what you're going to be left off with the whole, transition and development with the fragrance, which I think for some people they're going to be rather disappointed because they thought sport, this was going to be a fresher, something maybe aquatic, easier to wear. Definitely citrus aromatic. This is rather woody, spicy. So again, perhaps the sport, code name for this is a little bit off-putting. When you do spray this on, I don't think you're going to, transport yourself to a sport flanker. You're going to think something a lot deeper, more robust, like we talked about. That's definitely what you're going to get here from the dry down phase. But at this point, again, it becomes linear. It becomes this very powdery, sweet, creamy sandalwood, lavender, tonka, and vanilla kind of a composition, which again, not a sport type of a fragrance. I'm thinking sport, I don't think about what I'm getting here in the end, especially in the end. The beginning, you still had the ginger, which was a little bit sparkly, bright, but not quite. It was rather spicy, creamy, and woody. I think woody, spicy, and aromatic is really the scent profile of this particular fragrance, so it has nothing to do with a sport, a blue fragrance, something that's aquatic, ozonic, bright, nothing like that whatsoever. This is in the other end of the spectrum, something definitely not very spicy like you would think for heavy, weather, like really cold weather, but definitely not for the bright summers or something that's going to be very invigorating and uplifting. This is rather a more sensual, more robust, more easier to wear for like evening wear, dressier occasions. That's what I get, the final thoughts on this particular fragrance as it gets to the dry down phase. So Prada Luna Rossa Sport 2024 actually reminds me of a couple different things. It does remind me of 𝗏𝗏𝐼𝐼𝐼. So if you do like that tobacco, vanilla, tonka kind of a situation that you have with 𝗏𝗏𝐼𝐼, you're definitely going to like this one. This is going to be not as heavy, a little bit lighter, but definitely quite similar to that fragrance. Very similar to a blonde tobacco fragrance from Santa Maria Novella, which I love, called Tabacco Toscano. If you guys are familiar with that fragrance, you know how incredible that is. So definitely nuances of that fragrance with this release as well. And last but not least, this could actually be a cousin of Prada Luna Rossa Black. The all black bottle, the rubbery, creamy, sweet kind of a feel you do get here in the dry down as well. And also a crowd favorite, has a cult following here in the fragrance world, which is the original Bulgari Black, the hockey puck, that rubbery hockey puck. This one here in the dry down phase will also have similarities with that fragrance. So if you do miss that fragrance, this one here would actually be a very good alternative to that fragrance. So the bottom line is this particular fragrance could actually be a great signature scent. If you do love what you hear, especially when the dry down becomes a lot tamer, it starts pretty strong, pretty woody, pretty spicy, but then, you get to the 30, 35, 40 minute mark, it starts to tame down a little bit, starts to stay a little closer to the skin. Granted, it projects quite nice for the first couple hours, but I think if you control the application, you can actually rock this as a signature scent if you wanted to, but if you're gonna get technical, I think the best seasons for this would be spring and fall, hands down. I would say evening wear and dressier situations for this one I think would be great. Of course, you don't have to wear a three-piece suit, a tuxedo, or anything like that, but just a little bit dressier situations, evening attire, romantic settings, dates, I think would be great for this one. Performance was actually decent, above average. We're talking about 1.5 to 2 hours, really nice, strong projection. By the time you get to the 2 hours, it's gonna give you a really nice sillage, especially if you spray your clothes like myself. The sillage will last the whole day. People are definitely gonna perceive you as you walk around. If you spray the back of your hands and you talk, as you move, people definitely get whiffs. And it's one of those that are gonna be very good for compliments, to get positive notices for sure. It's a crowd pleaser, no two ways about it. Longevity, we're talking about 8 to 9 hours on average from my applications and wearings of this fragrance. If you spray your clothes, well into the 10-hour mark. However, the sillage is so good that even if this goes away, it doesn't project as much after the first 2 hours or so, people will definitely perceive that you're wearing this fragrance, especially when they get into like your foot and a half, 2 feet. They're gonna definitely perceive this fragrance because it has tremendous sillage. Final thoughts on the new Prada Luna Rossa Sport 2024 edition. This is a solid release, guys. Definitely check it out if you like what you hear. I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised with this one. I don't think this would make my top 10 favorite designers of the year up to this point. I really don't, because I do, if you have to put this, clash this and put it versus the Luna Rossa Ocean Lip Parfum, I'll definitely, favor that one over this one. That one would definitely make my top 10. This one here, it would closely make my top 10, but who knows, I'm gonna be rocking this one a little bit more during the cooler nights of summer as we approach the fall season and more into the fall, so who knows, this might climb the list as we get closer to the end of the year. But needless to say, a solid release from Prada. Definitely check it out if you can. Try it before you buy it at perfume.com, listed below when this becomes available. It is, like I said, exclusively and only available at the Prada website at this point, but I know very soon, as we all know, it's going to be readily available at your favorite discounter, so you can pick it up at a discounted price. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you do appreciate the video, if you do appreciate the content, leave a like, subscribe for more. Thanks for hanging out with me, and of course, I will see you guys right back here with another review very soon. Take care.